From his severe knee injury to his abysmal shooting stats, here's why Lonzo Ball's future career might be in danger. This Chicago Bulls point guard was drafted as a rookie at just 18 years old in the NBA overall draft. But does the NBA regret that decision now? Is his career in trouble? Well, looks like last year's knee injury could cost Lonzo Ball his whole career. In late January 2022, Lonzo Ball went down with a small meniscus tear in his left knee. What fans thought would heal with just a bit of physiotherapy actually required arthroscopic surgery. Ball underwent the surgery a week after the brutal tear, and the 6-week recovery period then ended up lasting another few months. He underwent yet another surgery in September 2022 that made people realize that this is in fact a serious injury.
Still rehabbing. Like I said, it's been a crazy journey, crazy therapy. You know, everything is just trying to get back on the court.
But fans continue to be optimistic about his return since he was seen working out in some team videos. Now, the player was still reporting intense physical pain during even the lightest of workouts. In fact, at one point, Lonzo reported that it was painful to even walk up the stairs. Yikes! A few weeks of rehab turned into a few months of rehab, turned into a whole year of rehab. As a result, the Bulls point guard had to withdraw from the whole 2021 to 2022 basketball season.
Back to slap that off the glass, and here come the Bulls running. Lonzo to Bradley. What a feed and finish.
Boy, Lonzo said, "Big fella, let me get it."
As you know, the Bulls had gotten off to a roaring start to the 2021 to 2022 season with Ball on their side. He averaged 13 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 5.1 assists within 35 games of the first half of the season. But this injury hit him hard, and it doesn't seem like he'll get back up anytime soon. Lonzo Ball's agent, Richie Paul, has revealed that his client has been all over the country seeing different doctors, but his recovery is still slow. He is able to do menial physical exercises like running and jumping just fine, especially after his September surgery, but any complex moves added to the routine completely stump the seasoned player. Doctors have evaluated the basketball star's injury and have recommended yet another surgery. It seems Lonzo Ball may need a cartilage transplant in his left knee to be able to play again, and if this doesn't work, the player may have to retire at just 25. Cause in case you didn't know, the recovery time for a cartilage transplant is way longer than anticipated. Specialists predict that the pro baller is probably not going to make it to the 2023 to 2024 season.
Coming out of the surgery, when I got from our medical people and their conversations with the doctors, they were very pleased with the way the surgery went.
The Chicago Bulls had finally made it to the #1 spot in the Eastern Conference in 2022, all thanks to Lonzo Ball. But now they're going to have to kiss their coveted spot goodbye when news of Ball's extended rehab breaks out. The Bulls had taken a risk with Ball, snatching him out from the New Orleans Pelicans. I bet they're regretting their $85 million contract with the point guard now, because this injury could cost the Bulls and Ball a lot. In fact, the Chicago Bulls are already taking so many hits to their performance because he's benched. Forget being kicked out of the #1 spot. Right now, the Bulls are struggling to even make it past 10th place, despite having such great players on their offense, like DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic. The Bulls' offense is still crumbling, even though these three are all-star veterans. Defense isn't doing much better without their star point guard Lonzo Ball. Their gameplays are flimsy without the 25-year-old, cause this is the team that has lost the most money all season too. I mean, talk about a failing franchise. You know the future of a team looks bleak when no one even wants to buy their merchandise anymore. The future looks murky for the Chicago Bulls without Ball to back them up. They've already been dubbed the 7th worst team in the NBA, and there's no bouncing back from that even if Lonzo comes back at 100% health. Like, forget coming back at 100%, there's no guarantee Lonzo Ball can come back at all. Sports analysts have discussed his injury to death and are no closer to identifying why it's taking so long to recover. Meniscus tears aren't uncommon on the NBA battlefield and usually only take about 6 weeks max to heal up. Why then does Lonzo Ball need 3 surgeries plus over a year in rehab for his? Why is he still experiencing pain even during the lightest of workouts? Doctors doctors are uncertain that he'll return to the field at all, let alone at full capacity. Besides, it's not even that his injury won't heal. I'm sure with the right amount of rest and physiotherapy, he'll be pain-free in another year. But it takes more than that to be a star player. He hasn't been able to keep up his workout routine the way an NBA player needs to. Not just that, but he hasn't maneuvered around his team members on the court in over a year either. So that's gotta take a toll on his gameplays. It's difficult for seasoned players to come off even a 2-month break, let alone what is shaping up to be a 2-year one for Lonzo. The legendary rookie really has had more than his fair share of injuries, it seems. Speaking of, this isn't Lonzo's first foray into physical rehab. He's always been a bit prone to injuries. The player's meniscus actually tore the first time back in July 2018, and prior to that had sprained his MCL of the same knee a couple of months before that. Guess this knee injury has been haunting him for a few years now, and it gets worse every year. The torn meniscus cost him 15 games for his then team, the Los Angeles Lakers. He'd also been selected for the NBA Rising Star Challenge, but had to back out because of the injury. The player sprained his shoulder before too, where he missed about 30 games in 2017. An ankle injury had him down for the count again in late 2018, and missed out on the Rising Stars Challenge yet again. Lonzo Ball was down 2 for 2. The surgery he wanted for his knee and ankle went against the Lakers' contract guidelines, so he had to make do with just rehabilitation. He was yet again benched for the rest of the 2019 season under the Lakers. After the Lakers signed NBA's sweetheart LeBron James, Ball's time in the spotlight was over. He was soon traded over to the New Orleans Pelicans in July 2019. So are the Chicago Bulls gonna trade him out too? But what team would take on such an injury-prone player? Because in case it's not obvious, Lonzo Ball hasn't had the best track record when it comes to shooting either. After all, he was making a measly 36% of shots back when he was a rookie, so like, his basket count just wasn't high enough. After being drafted to the Lakers, the point guard did rise to 40.7%, but it wasn't much of an improvement. A year later, fans could see he made little to no progress. Instead, he somehow got even worse. 2019 was one heck of a year for Ball's shooting stats. Not only did he miss like 9 shots out of 11, but he also dropped down to an 18.2% shooting score. And man, did he get booed for that one. I mean, he wasn't even hitting his own average. So I don't blame those fans in the least. His coaches were hopeful because his practice stats were through the roof, but he just never seemed to deliver on the court. And honestly, considering his knee and all, I don't think he'll ever be able to step on the court again either. Well, there you have it. That's all for Lonzo Ball and his future career in the NBA.